In this video, I want to cover why your product may not make sense to force into a subscription business model. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steve. I'm the founder of Harbor Marketing Agency, and my team and I help scale e-commerce and subscription brands to over 7 and 8 figures in revenue. So let's dive in. So the question that I'm going to cover in this video is, does your product actually make sense to subscribe to? This is something that I see all the time in the subscription box industry, where people are really attracted to the idea of a recurring revenue business. So they take a product that doesn't necessarily make sense to subscribe to, and they try to force it into a subscription business model, thinking that they're going to be able to collect all this recurring cash every single month. But what they don't realize is that when you take a product and force it into a subscription business model without it actually making sense for the customer to subscribe to, you make it a lot harder on yourself and it becomes more challenging than it needs to be. So let me explain this. Let's say that I'm selling an eyeglass subscription. The reason that I'm using eyeglasses as an example is because this is a product that most people generally do not need on a recurring basis. They don't need a new pair of eyeglasses every single month or even quarterly or even twice a year. Maybe they get a new pair of glasses once a year. So if I were to create an eyeglass subscription box, what would end up happening is, if that was my only offering where I was forcing people to subscribe to my eyeglass subscription box as opposed to allowing them to purchase on my site freely, what would end up happening is that would create a barrier to purchase for the consumer. They'd be less likely to purchase from me because I'm forcing them to subscribe, as opposed to just going to a competitor that allows them to purchase those eyeglasses freely as a one-time purchase. And so what that would do is it would drive up my customer acquisition costs. Now, what you need to understand about the subscription business model is that most subscription companies and subscription box companies do not make a profit on the first time a customer purchases, or even when they renew in the second month, sometimes even in the third or fourth month. The subscription box brands and subscription brands that I've worked with and that I've been familiar with in the industry generally make all of their money from lifetime value. So that's when people stay subscribed for months and months and months on end. So by offering this eyeglass subscription, which is a product that doesn't really make sense to subscribe to, one, you've created that barrier to entry that's driving up customer acquisition costs, which in turn is going to increase the time delay that it takes for you to turn a profit. And two, since it doesn't really make sense to subscribe to, that's going to increase your churn rate, or the percentage of people that are canceling every single month. So most people, since they just don't need to subscribe to a product like this, they're gonna buy it for 1 month and then cancel immediately. So by forcing them to subscribe in this case, you have just increased your customer acquisition cost more than it needs to be, and you've also increased your churn rate. And so what you're gonna end up doing is paying a lot for people to subscribe to your product, only to have them cancel in that first month and never actually turn a profit on them. So in this case, if I had an eyeglass product, I would not be looking at a subscription business model unless I could find a product around eyeglasses that actually made sense to subscribe to. So if I had this eyeglass subscription, I might be looking at offering different styles of lenses and different styles of frames that I could sell. So maybe people want more than one pair of glasses depending on the style they're going for that day. Maybe they want different colors. Maybe I start offering contacts instead, or alongside my glasses. Maybe I start offering glassware cleaning accessories or cases or things to add on to the eyeglass core product. That would be a better way to increase average order value and ultimately lifetime value, while aligning with what your customer actually wants, as opposed to forcing them into a business model that's attractive to you. Now, I should note that it is okay to offer the option to subscribe to an eyeglass subscription or a product that at face value doesn't really make sense to subscribe to, as long as you don't force people to subscribe to it. And if you do that, you should just go into it with the understanding that you're probably not going to get a lot of subscribers, and the people that do subscribe, that's great, but the other customers still have the option to purchase it as a one-time product. And that way you're not forcing people to subscribe and artificially inflating your customer acquisition cost unnecessarily, and ending up just churning out a bunch of customers before you actually make a profit. So that's the main point of the first part of this video, is ask yourself the question, does this really make sense to subscribe to? In the next part of this video, what I want to cover is what types of products do make sense to subscribe to. So there are really two types of product categories that make sense for a subscription business model. Those two product categories are replenishment and surprise and delight. So first, let's talk about the replenishment product category. Replenishment products are products that people are already buying on a frequent basis anyway, and you can come into the market and either offer them that same product at a higher quality or a lower cost. Examples of replenishment products might be Dollar Shave Club offering people cheaper razors than they were getting at the store. It could be a dog food subscription, or really anything that people just kind of already have incorporated into their life that they buy on a frequent basis. If you do decide to go into the replenishment space, my advice would be try to find a product category or niche that is not already super saturated. So for example, I would never start a razor subscription in today's market because there are already hundreds of them out there. So try to look at what are some things that people are buying on an ongoing basis, or that they need to replenish every single month or every single quarter, where there's not a lot of competition in that space already. And if you can do that, you might be onto something. And then we have surprise and delight. So surprise and delight subscriptions are basically products that are usually centered around a certain theme or a certain niche, and the customers don't necessarily need this product on an ongoing basis. Like, it's not something that they're regularly going out of their way to purchase, but it's something that usually they're super passionate about, and they just enjoy receiving these types of products every single month. So an example of a surprise and delight subscription is one of our clients, the Burn Box. They sell a monthly box of gear and tools and training guides for firefighters. And the firefighter niche is a very passionate audience. They basically just eat anything up surrounding firefighting. And so when they see this box, they hop right on it because they're really, really passionate about firefighting, and they enjoy receiving new gear and new tools every single month. And there's sort of a surprise and delight element to that, of not knowing what's going to come in the box and being pleasantly surprised with a new tool that you can use on the job or a new workout that you can do. So surprise and delight subscriptions can be very, very successful as well. You just need to carve out a niche and curate a box of products that nobody else on the market is really offering. So hopefully this video gave you some insight and food for thought. Be sure to give it a like, comment any questions below, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and want to see more videos on how to start a successful subscription business. And if you're looking for a good team of subscription marketers, be sure to check us out at harbormarketingagency.com. Go to our website, book a call, and we'll see if we're a good fit. Thanks so much.